Last time on Casino Royale with cheese.
I mean, he calls them all gay. Oh, vampires gay.
Yeah. Is Dick like a character trait? Like just talking about it all the time and...
That combined with his homophobia, probably closeted.
He could be gay, yeah. Like
Most
gay.
likely.
Right. Bunch of dudes on his team. Ain't no women to be found either.
Right.
Yeah.
And he treats that prostitute, Katrina, like...
Oh, like crap.
Yeah.
Notice they were gonna fuck too, and he was like, yeah, I'll fuck you. Go away.
Go to my hotel room and I will never come.
He's like, whatever, now I'm gonna drink with the boys, you know?
We cracked this movie.
Absolutely. This is an allegory for homosexual, like, suppression.
Yeah, closeted dudes.
Yeah.
They have to fight their demons.
Fight their demons. Physical manifestation of their demons, you bet.
And now, the conclusion.
Houston, we have a problem.
I have a really bad feeling about this.
A boy's best friend is his mother.
Hasta la vista, baby.
Nobody puts baby in the corner.
Roads? Where we're going, we don't need roads.
Frankly, my dear, I don't give a damn.
Silent Green is people!
Yo, Adrian! I did it! Let's put a smile on that face.
I gotta warn you, Clark. They don't play the same games here as they do at them regular casinos.
Royale, too.
Well, folks, Mama's wrong again.
Welcome back to Casino Royale with Cheese. This is episode number 42 of the show where we discuss movies that were number one at the box office exactly 20 years ago. My name is Shane. Today I'm joined by the devil, who takes many forms. Today the form happens to be Mike.
What's up, dude?
Not much, brother. How are ya?
I've been called way worse than that before.
The devil. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I've called you worse, actually. How's it going, man?
It's going pretty well. Just got back from lunch with my girls.
Yeah. All the single ladies. All the single ladies.
Well, my wife and my daughter.
One of them is single. Yeah. Better stay that way.
She's off the fucking market.
That's cool, man. Awesome. I just got done doing some maintenance on my vehicle, so that's always fun.
What's wrong with your car?
So, it was just a shitty battery. I was having problems, so yeah. You know, it's funny, dude, because so I drive a Chevy Equinox, which is obviously a panty dropper.
Sponsored by Chevy.
Yeah. So yeah, if I was going to try to advertise for Chevy, I wouldn't start with the Equinox, but I'm just saying. So the funny thing about it is back in the day, I drove a Chevy Monte Carlo, and they put the batteries in some weird places on those cars, dude. I ain't gonna lie. But I managed, got through it, so.
Did you feel more manly when you were done?
No, not really. I've changed out 1,000 batteries, so.
That's a lot of batteries.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if it's 1,000 batteries, but I've changed out, I would guess, 30 to 40 batteries, probably.
Still a lot of batteries.
Yeah.
I've done it like twice.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So there you go. I was talking to my wife, and she was like, I said, well, you know, my line of work, it's kind of nice to have, you know, tools on hand, you know, so that I can do some shit like that. And she's like, yeah, and you know how to use them. I'm like, you don't know how to use a socket wrench. I don't know if I can help you, dude.
Yeah.
Just supremely fucked. But,
how about that foosball game last night?
That foosball. Ironically enough, we're talking about the football game. But, yeah. Oh, you played Texas Tech? It was
scared the shit out of us.
It was surprisingly, like, it kept my interest, we'll say that. So
we're lucky that one dude got hurt at halftime.
Yeah, we are. Oh, the quarterback or whatever that collapses lung?
Yeah, it was bizarre.
Yeah, I guess the quarterback for Texas Tech, they've been playing West Virginia, and he took this hit. Like, two guys, like, sandwiched him together during that game, and I guess he collapsed his lung and he was out, pretty much for half the game last night. So it's whatever. But I thought it was a good game. I enjoyed watching it at least. So
It was a good game.
yeah, shouldn't have been that good. but I noticed this, and I'm not gonna try to throw too much shade on fans of Texas Tech, but I thought that the people in the stadium were really obnoxious last night, dude.
They're known for that.
Yeah, I was watching it going, these guys are kind of jerks, bro,
They're known for that. Like, they throw tortillas on the field.
Oh, jeez. Throw a tortilla at me. I dare you.
You just eat it right up.
Absolutely. $20 says I'll probably have taco meat somewhere on hand that I can get to pretty quick. Just pockets full of taco meat. Can just make a taco right there. Yeah, it's pretty rancid.
How was your Halloween?
It went well. It was kind of drizzly here a little bit. But it made it kind of chilly outside too. So we got to, it kind of set the whole mood for the thing,
Yeah.
It kind of worked out. How was y'all's? You guys cash in?
Yeah, I mean, we did pretty well. It was fun, but I don't know what the fuck's up with, how come only every other house or so does trick-or-treating nowadays?
I think that's weird, man. It's definitely different. There was a cul-de-sac. Go ahead.
The participation level is just not there anymore.
No, people don't give a fuck, really. I noticed, there's this cul-de-sac probably a block or so away from our house, and, last year, they dudded it up, dude. They had all these decorations out and shit. We went there this year, and I don't know if maybe they moved or they were like, we don't have time for this shit, but it wasn't, decked out at all. But, only 2 houses that were in that cul-de-sac were giving out candy. It was really strange, man. And I'll go down entire streets where there's, 2 or 3 houses, they're
yeah.
Fuck it, yeah. Because it used to be every house, back in the day. But
yeah, when I went, every single house did it.
Yeah. How many groups of kids did you guys come across?
Well, quite a few.
Yeah.
Yeah, our street's always pretty busy on Halloween.
Yeah. Well, you guys have pretty good number of houses on your street too. So it's just one of those things. Yeah.
We live in your average suburbia.
Yeah. Exactly. I mean, it's kind of weird because we came across, because people, they trick or treat in groups, obviously, and so it was myself, my former brother-in-law, my niece's dad came and trick or treated with us, and my other niece, and then of course my daughter, so there's a group of 5 of us, and so we only saw maybe 2 or 3 groups of maybe half a dozen kids or so. It was really strange, man.
Well, Farrah always trick or treated with Seth.
Yeah.
Up until last year, and then she was by herself.
I got
This year was the first year where it was her and a group of her girlfriends.
Oh, okay. So the girl that lives in your neighborhood and all that stuff.
Yeah, there's a couple of them. Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool. Did you go with them, obviously, or?
Of course.
Yeah. I don't know at what age I'm going to be comfortable with my daughter going to random people's houses asking for food,
Without you?
Yeah, I don't think that's going to happen, bro. I'm sorry.
If I can, I will be walking with her every year.
Absolutely.
But I like it.
Oh, yeah, I like going around and doing all that stuff and looking at people's decor and shit. And
I get dressed up every year.
Oh, okay. I didn't dress up. I said, fuck it.
I did.
Did you just rock the Deadpool again?
No, I put on the Jon Snow.
Oh, okay. And Ferris, she was the zombie cheerleader. So that's fun. Yeah. My daughter, she played the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man. Because, as we all know, she's a huge Ghostbusters fan for some reason. In fact, I've been working these 4-day weeks, and she wanted to watch Ghostbusters on Friday. So that's what we did.
Right on.
Yeah. But that's what I was thinking, though, when I watched that new Halloween movie, is they give a somewhat romanticized version of Halloween because they show, whenever Michael Myers first shows up in Haddonfield or whatever. And there's all the, just kids, 50 kids at any given time on this block, and all the houses are decorated up, and I was like, that's not really the way it is anymore, man. you know? No.
I did grow up with like the E.T. Halloween though.
Oh, where it's just like a fucking block party.
Yeah.
Yeah. See, we always lived out in the country, so we never got to do that. But I think that looked like it'd be a lot of fun.
It was fun.
But, well, hopefully everybody else had a good Halloween.
Hopefully all your candy buckets were full to the brim
Yes.
with joy and cavities.
And you saw the Great Pumpkin, so. And Charlie Brown got a rock. But, yeah. Anyway, so we're getting off of this whole horror movie kick that I've been talking about for the last month. Changing things up quite a bit this week, it looks like. We're talking about our first Adam Sandler movie, The Waterboy.
Baba Boucher.
No, Waterboy. What's your experience with this movie, Mike?
I've only seen it a couple dozen times or so.
Right. Yeah.
I will tell you, it's been a while since my last viewing.
Yeah, probably. I think it was on TV or something, and I watched like the tail end of it. I want to say maybe 2 months ago. But of course, it was the TV edit. You know, there's certain stuff in this movie they can't really show, so you don't really get the full experience that way, I guess. But so it's kind of funny with me and Adam Sandler because let's discuss that dude for a moment if we can.
Let's talk about Adam Sandler. Yeah,
absolutely. So
we're totally qualified to talk about him.
I agree. This is my bread and butter back in like junior high school, you know. So,
right.
Yeah. I back in the day, of course, you know, it was one of those deals where I was really paying attention a lot to the like Saturday Night Live alumni back in the day, you know. It was a deal where we went through. Oh my God, I got it. We'll talk about this later. It's really funny, but so I first was really into like Chris Farley and stuff like that. The first movie I saw him in was Coneheads, insanely.
Okay.
Yeah, and then he had a bit part in that, and then I watched like Tommy Boy and Black Sheep and all that stuff, and I was like, man, this dude's great, you know.
Yeah.
And so I started getting into Adam Sandler, watched Billy Madison, and I was like, well, that was different, you know, because basically he has two types of movies where he either plays like the moderately straight dude or the complete bumbling, for lack of a better word, retard, like a literal retard, you know. And so that was one of those movies that was in the latter category. And then
he's always like with a heart of gold, though.
Yeah, we'll say so. He's a flawed character, but he's okay, you know. I actually think Happy Gilmore was one of those movies where he's a little bit more of a straight character, to be honest.
Oh, yeah?
Well, I mean, it's just a wacky movie in general, you know?
Yeah.
And so, yeah. But for the most part, I mean, he wasn't running around looking at imaginary penguins and shampoo is better, you know, and all this other shit, you know. He was just a guy that was a reluctant golfer, you know, pretty much with an anger problem, you know. And so then there was that. I went and watched, I couldn't even tell you. Anyway, we get up to The Waterboy, and I watched this movie, and at the time I was like, I don't like it that much. I'm not a fan, you know, just because it's so over the top, you know. And of course, after this, Lil Nicky came out, and I was not a fan of that movie at all. Although I did like Big Daddy, so go figure that out. But I think that ever since, I would say Big Daddy, he's done a couple like serious roles here and there, like Reign Over Me, you know, and Punch Drunk Love and stuff like that. But aside from those, he's basically tapered off
50 First Dates.
I'm not a big fan of that one either. I actually own a copy of it, and I'll watch that movie on occasion.
The Wedding Singer.
I actually really do like The Wedding Singer. I think it's great.
Fantastic movie.
It is.
One of the best soundtracks.
Oh, agreed. Yeah, if you like 80s music, you're going to love that shit, yeah. I was really surprised just looking online, and I noticed that The Wedding Singer came out the same year as this did. I thought The Wedding Singer was like way older, but I guess it wasn't, yeah. What's crazy to me though is nowadays it seems like all he does is like Hotel Transylvania sequels and Netflix shit, and I don't even bother with 95% of the crap that he puts out nowadays. I don't give a fuck. It was pretty much after Don't Mess with the Zohan that I was done with this dude, you know?
He must have some monster deal with Netflix because he's always releasing stuff on Netflix.
Oh, yeah. And I've heard that there's a new one that came out with him and Chris Rock that's great, but
Where their children are getting married to each other?
I think so. I think that's, yeah. And he's dabbled a lot with Chris Rock and stuff, but, man, I do not like a lot of his shit, give two fucks about anything that dude is doing, you know? I don't know. What's your take on the dude? I think he's funny.
I watched it all. I watched it all.
You watched like Ridiculous Six and all that shit?
I watched it. I watched
Lordy.
it like the week it premiered on Netflix.
Oh, God.
I've been following Adam Sandler since his tapes.
Yeah, those old CDs that he put out and all that shit.
Yeah.
They're all gonna laugh at you. Yeah.
Yeah. I've been following him since then.
Mm-hmm. Fatty McGee, you're the fattest. Yeah. All that shit.
And his shit on SNL was great.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
SNL
you gotta remember,
was pretty great.
I'm a little older than you.
Yeah.
So I remember when he was like on SNL, and I would look forward to him, singing the news as Opera Boy or whatever the hell.
Mm-hmm. I like that. I like the Hurley boy. Just let me water your plants, and all that shit. It's pretty funny. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't know, man. I watched that one where him and David Spade are like they have mistaken identities or whatever, and I was like, this is not funny, dude.
I'll tell you, the only thing I've watched of his that I was just like, what did I just watch this for, was Little Nicky.
Little Nicky was almost unwatchable to me.
And I have friends who are monster Adam Sandler fans, and they swear it's great.
Well, I swear they're wrong, because that shit fucking sucked, man. The
best
part was
Little Nicky at all.
No, the best part was at the beginning. We have Harvey Keitel playing the devil, and he like shoves a pineapple up Hitler's ass. Like, to me, that was the only funny part. Oh, and the horny bird that was like dry humping John Lovitz was pretty funny too. But that was it. So. But anyway, I'm very much a purporter that his older shit is way better than his new shit. So, but that's just me. I was incorrect last week, though, whenever I said that Big Daddy had come out before this movie. It didn't come out until 1999, so I guess we'll talk about it next year. So,
yay.
Yep, that's something.
My favorite Hooters waitress.
Oh, yeah. It's pretty great. All the Hooters jokes. Mm-hmm. Let's take a look here at some of the cast. We've got a lot of the usual suspects here when it comes to this dude.
Yeah, he always has his like friends in his movies.
Yeah, his boys.
I love that.
Well, I think that honestly, that's what he does nowadays. Is that deal with Netflix? Is he just gets to like go to these weirdo spots and like hang out with David Spade and fucking Rob Schneider and shit, and they just chill. I mean, that's the fucking deal right there. Get paid for it.
Well, Rob Schneider wouldn't have a career without Adam Sandler.
Oh no.
Oh God, what is his name? Don't tell me. Stephen Buscemi would not have a career without Adam Sandler.
I don't know if that's accurate, but because you have to remember, Steve Buscemi was in Fargo and all that other shit too.
He was in Reservoir Dogs as well.
He was in Reservoir Dogs. Pretty great.
Yeah, so, I don't know.
I think
maybe I'm wrong on that one.
Yeah, there's a bunch of people though. Like Henry Winkler kind of got his second life with Adam Sandler. A bunch of these dudes like in this movie. So let's just take a look. We got Adam Sandler. He plays Bobby Boucher.
Boucher.
Kathy Bates, who I believe she won another Oscar for this movie, played Mama Boucher.
She could have stole this movie. I mean, she's excellent in it.
Oh yeah, she's fantastic. Yeah. We got Henry Winkler, who plays Coach Klein.
Awesome in this movie.
He is pretty great. Pretty great. We've got noted Hollywood weirdo Fairuza Balk playing Vicky Valancourt.
Oh, I love her.
She's in some weird shit, dude.
I I don't know what it is about that girl, but man, something about her.
I don't know, dude. I remember watching her in The Craft back in the day.
I remember that as well.
Yeah. She was in, I don't know if you've ever seen this, The Return to Oz. It's like an unofficial Wizard of Oz sequel.
I don't think I have.
There's some weirdo shit going on in that movie, dude. So what's funny is, in this, we also have Jerry Reed of Smokey and the Bandit fame in this fucking movie. Yeah.
Playing Coach Red?
Yeah, Red Baloo as a parrot. Which, I was watching this movie, I was thinking, did they really just name this dude Red Blue?
They did.
Yeah. It's pretty great. But it's funny, though, because whenever I first saw this movie, of course, I wasn't familiar with Jerry Reed music or anything, and I hadn't seen, like, Smokey and the Bandit, any of them at that point, and so I didn't think anything of it. And then watching this, I was like, oh, that's motherfucking Jerry Reed there, you know. So it's pretty legit. We got Lawrence Gilliard Jr. playing Derek Wallace, his little buddy there that...
the kicker.
Yeah. He's like the only dude on the team that's nice to Bobby for a long time. We've got... this dude's pretty cool. Blake Clark. He plays Farmer Fran.
Oh,
And,
yeah.
Yeah. He's been in a ton of shit.
A lot of Adam Sandler shit.
Yeah. Yeah. I believe he played the similar character, probably the same character in Joe Dirt. But
I don't know. But he doesn't have one audible line in the entire movie.
No, not at all. We live another day. Yeah. What's great about him, though, is the first time I saw that dude was on Boy Meets World back in the day.
Oh, God.
Yeah. Aging me quite a bit. But what's crazy about it, though, is I guess he was like a first lieutenant in Vietnam in the Army, which is pretty awesome.
Hell yeah.
So, yeah.
Who?
Yup. We got Peter Dante, who plays Guy Grenouille, I guess is how you would say his name. He's the one that is a dickhead to Bobby, the Waterboy.
He's in a lot of Adam Sandler shit, too.
Yeah. The thing I remember him from was Mama's Boy, where he's like the guy that they buy pot off of, but he's like, I'm putting up my Christmas decorations. They're like, dude, it's fucking July.
With the monkey and the cheetah and all that shit.
Drive, monkey, drive. Yeah.
That's great.
Mm-hmm.
I love that movie.
Yep. We got Jonathan Loughran, who plays Lyle Robideau.
Is it Grandma's Boy?
Oh, Grandma's Boy. Yeah. That's what it was.
It's not Mama's Boy, because at first it took me a second.
Right. No, Grandma's Boy is a great movie, though. I think it's really funny. We got the the uglier brother of Ron Howard, Clint Howard, in this movie. He plays Paco. He's the one toward the end of the movie where he's like, you're an inspiration for all of us guys that are born ugly and all that shit. Which Clint Howard was born extremely ugly, so got to start on Star Trek, by the way, might I add. We got Alan Covert, who plays Walter. He was actually Grandma's boy in that movie. Then we get to the actor where comedy goes to die, Rob Schneider. And fucking this guy, I swear. I cannot stand that dude. People back in the day were like, yo, man, did you watch that Deuce Bigalow? Fuck no. They're like, why not? Because Rob Schneider's fucking in it.
Deuce Bigalow, Male Gigolo is great.
I never watched it. That one or European, I guess so.
Well, the sequels weren't very good, but the first one was good.
Yeah. Nowadays, instead of acting, I guess he spends most of his time becoming a vocal anti-vaxxer.
Oh, boy.
Yeah. So him and, what's her name, Jenna McCarthy, like they, I guess, feel very strongly about that shit. If you decide you don't want to vaccinate your kids because Rob Schneider and Jenna McCarthy told you not to, then you're a fucking idiot. So... just gonna throw that out there. This movie was directed by the wonderful Frank Coraci and written by Tim Herlihy.
Oh yeah, the Coraci and Herlihy team.
Yeah, they're quite the duo. I'll tell you that much. No, Hurley, he actually wrote a lot of this shit. He was one of the writers for Grown Ups 2. He wrote Pixels. He wrote Ridiculous 6. He wrote for Saturday Night Live. He wrote this, Big Daddy, Little Nicky, Mr. Deeds, Billy Madison, The Wedding Singer, Happy Gilmore. Like, he's all up in that shit, balls deep. And then, of course, Frank Karachi, he directed this and The Wedding Singer. And that's all. Oh, no, he directed, I guess, Ridiculous 6. That Drew Barrymore, Adam Sandler movie, Blended. Click.
So they've been in 3 movies together?
Who's that? Oh, yeah. I never saw Blended. But from what I understand is every decade they do a movie together. So go figure that shit out.
I'll do a movie with Drew Barrymore every decade if she wants.
Absolutely. She's great. And I think she looks like she smells really good. So, but we talked about that before. I think she looks like she smells like strawberries. I'm just throwing it out there.
And cream.
Yep. Strawberries and cream, you bet. But anyway, Mike, let's take a look here, if we can, at some of this box office shiza. This movie was made on a budget of $23 million.
Pretty good.
I wouldn't say that's too high or too low, considering the cast. Kathy Bates probably ain't cheap, and all the football shit that you have to do. It's got Jerry Reed in it too, so yeah, it's not bad. Let's have you take some guesses here as to the number of weeks and how it did.
1 week.
Oh no, it was actually 2 weeks. So yeah, big winner there.
Then it made at least $60 million.
Oh, you're way off this time. Last week you were within $300,000. This week you're $100 million off.
It made $160 million.
$161,491,646.
That's a hit, dude.
In the U.S., yes, it is. Overall, worldwide, it brought in $185,991,000 and some change. So that's pretty good.
On a $23 million budget?
Yeah.
You almost tenfold.
Mm-hmm.
Almost tenfold.
Yeah, I can't be mad at that.
No.
So, yeah, it's pretty good. Pretty good. Like I said, back in the day, he was a big deal. But nowadays, nobody seems to give two fucks, you know? So, kind of too bad. But I think that Adam Sandler, I almost wonder if that dude doesn't give a fuck anymore.
Dude, watch 100% Fresh.
What is 100% Fresh?
I talked about it last week.
Oh, a documentary, I take it?
No, his stand-up show.
Oh, yeah, I saw that on Netflix. No, I didn't watch it, but I just saw that it was on there. Yeah.
Yeah, watch it. I'm telling you,
it's pretty great.
He still has it.
It's good to know, because for the longest time I thought that he wasn't doing stand up anymore. So it's good. Good deal.
Well, his stand up is like a variety show.
Oh, okay. I got you.
It's like they're all gonna laugh at you.
Oh, okay. That's pretty great. I love that. So I'm down. But I don't think I've ever actually seen any of his stand-up whenever it was relatively new. You know, I've heard his fucking tapes and shit, you know, but I don't think I've ever sat down and actually watched a stand-up, you know, whenever it was within 5 years of when it came out, you know, so I'm kind of excited about it. But
well, his stuff is timeless because it doesn't refer to pop culture or anything like that.
Right.
He just says ridiculous shit.
It's random shit, yeah.
Yeah, really random.
Yeah.
We can talk about this turd sandwich or what?
Yeah, let's jump right on in. The movie opens on the bayou.
Yeah, just before we get too deep, I want to let you know, I was not looking forward to watching this.
Oh, okay.
In my head, I was like, there's no way this is going to hold up.
How do you think it did?
We'll talk about it.
Okay. I was excited to watch it. I wasn't excited to talk about it. Let's go through here. I kind of want to do like we did with There's Something About Mary.
Okay.
Basically, the whole premise of the movie is that Bobby Boucher is this guy. He's kind of slow-witted fellow. He is a water boy at the University of Louisiana.
A passionate water boy.
Yes. You find out why, but dude, that's all he thinks about is water and the pH levels and the purification on it, All
and the
this shit.
temperature at which it should be served.
Yeah, man. That's it, you know?
Dude, it's great.
Yeah.
Watching him, like, I didn't notice some of this shit before, but, you know, like, this show, how it's forced me to watch some of my favorite movies and realize that they're actually kind of trash.
Yeah.
Because I'm paying attention to little details and stuff like that, and it's
Not
made me
Face
pay
Off,
attention.
but yeah.
And, well, it's Face Off is a great movie. Yes.
Idiot.
And so, shut up, Star Trek. And then fucking, with this movie, like, because I'm paying attention, like, there's so many little details I'd never noticed before.
Yeah. Like, let's hear some.
Like, the variety of waters.
Oh, okay.
When you come out to the University of Louisiana, like, for practice, whatever, he has a whole variety of water.
See, I didn't notice I noticed that he had, like, different jugs and shit, but I didn't notice, like, what the varieties were.
Yeah, some of them like spring water, glacier water, purified water. Like, he had all these different kind of waters. And he has a comment box.
Right. Yes, he does. The comment box is pretty great, like the suggestion box or whatever. All the football players are convinced that he's an idiot, which he is, you know.
But why do they fuck with him so hard?
Dude, he's busting his ass, you know.
He is providing the best tasting water you can get.
Absolutely.
At a moment's notice, he's there for you.
Right.
And you just want to fuck with this dude?
Constantly. Relentlessly. Well, they treat in this movie like these guys in college are more like guys in high school. Because I don't think that college is so much a place where, you know, the big jock fucks with the little dude, you know. That's more of a high school thing, I think.
That doesn't even happen in high school anymore.
Yeah, I didn't think it did, really. Yeah,
Like,
I think that things are way more chill in high school, you know, than they used to be.
High school is way better than it used to be.
Yeah.
And these little fucks complain all the time still.
Yeah.
Like, I work in these high schools as a recruiter, and I'm telling you, they don't give a shit what color your skin is. They don't give a shit what your sexual orientation is.
Yeah.
They don't care if you're the kid with pink hair or piercings or tattoos. They don't give a shit about any of that.
Right.
I watch these kids, like, hang out in social groups that we never would have saw when we were in school.
Oh, yeah.
Just all mixed and intermingled, and everything's great.
Yeah. Well, that's good, you know. It kind of makes me feel better knowing that the social, like, walls are starting to break down a little bit, you know.
Some of the most popular kids in school are the special needs kids.
Yeah, there you go.
Like, this one school I work with, they have this. They call them the Super Cats. They're Saber Cats, the name of their mascot.
Yeah.
But their special needs kids are all on this, like, Special Olympics team.
Oh yeah.
And they call them the Super Cats. And every year they have this huge pep rally and, like, drum line and all this stuff as these kids, like, run through the halls, like, onto the buses to go off to their thing.
That's cool.
Yeah,
because I remember when I was in school, because the school I went to, it was not very big. And so they went through, like, the kids that were special needs. Like, they kept them in a trailer, like, segregated to themselves, you know. And they're like, we'll just educate them out here. And they got, like, their own recess and all this other shit, you know.
Yeah, we rarely saw them.
Yeah. But, you know, I was talking to my niece a little while back because she's 15 now. And she must have been, like, 11 or 12 at the time. And she was showing me videos that she had taken for some fucking thing on her computer. And she showed this kid that was, you know, handicapped. And I was like, oh, did the kids fuck with that dude a lot? And she's like, no, why would they? You know, I was like, I know he would have got fucked with when I was in school, you know. So
yeah,
it wouldn't have been me,
changed.
but it would have happened, you know.
So I don't know why they're fucking with poor little Bobbies. My whole point.
I mean, this is still 20 years ago, 1998, but I don't think in college they're really going to mess with this dude that much. But it
All
does.
I say is radio.
Oh, God. Well, I mean, that's true. Because he was like the spirit of the team, you know. Radio
he was beloved.
Yeah. I hate that movie, though.
It's not a good movie.
Watching Cuba Gooding Jr. with his jacked up grill wolfing down Whoppers or whatever, I was like, this is awful. He's like shitting himself. Like, no, this is not good, you know. But anyway, them messing with Bobby does add for some good comedic effect in this movie, though.
Yes, it is funny.
Yeah. I can't
and
throw shade.
and they have to do it. They have to do it
Oh yeah, of course.
because if you want to get the Bobby we get later in the movie, you have to go through this part first.
Absolutely. I guess they're doing like a football training camp, and the players start fucking with them, and so like the coach is like, "Oh, that Bobby Boucher, get him the fuck out of here because he's a distraction."
He
He didn't
fired
have
him.
anything to do with it. Yeah. So, and the comment
meet
box that
Mama.
said "eat shit and kill yourself" was one of the
Yeah.
suggestions.
Yeah.
Signed the team. It's pretty great. So I like when we go home and we meet Mama because, of course, Bobby Boucher he rides his stupid lawnmower around everywhere. He doesn't drive except for that fucking thing. And, of course, at Mama's house, this is out in the sticks, bro. This is some country-ass shit right here, dude.
They live in the bayou.
Yeah, deep, deep bayou. They got a donkey in the living room.
I will say, I think this movie is really culturally insensitive.
Oh yeah, towards
Because it bashes like Cajuns and shit.
towards like Creole folks. Yeah.
Yeah, Creole and Cajun people, they just bashes them the whole fucking movie.
Oh yeah. The great thing about it is I think I don't know. I've spent a little bit of time around like the Alabama, Louisiana area. I don't think they really give a fuck about them taking shots at them. You know.
I mean, I'll give you, as a guy who's been to Thibodaux,
Yeah.
Louisiana, with a guy named Boudreaux,
Boudreaux.
they don't give a fuck.
Right. Oh, that Waterboy. That's some funny shit right there.
That's just how they are. And
That's
they're
where
cool
my grandma
with it.
lives. Yeah. So, Mom,
Kathy Bates is amazing in this movie.
she really is. Although her Cajun accent does irk me at times, but otherwise she's great. But she's not trying to play it straight either, you know. So
No.
Mama is Kathy Bates, and she is super overprotective when it comes to Bobby Boucher. She doesn't want him to have anything. She didn't even like him being the water boy. She didn't want him to play football. She didn't want him to go to school. She doesn't want him to have a girlfriend. None of that shit, you know.
Little girls are the devil.
Right. And apparently Bobby's a big fan of Captain Insano. And there's a great little bit with this. He actually
Dude,
calls Captain Insano and offers to be his water boy.
Would you need the services of a highly experienced water technician?
How old are you? He's like 11, 12? I'm 31. Just start laughing their asses off.
He's like, I guarantee you this guy's still a virgin.
It's a good guess.
There's so many times like where I'm watching Adam Sandler deliver his lines, and I know it was a laugh take.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
Because like there's so many times where he's like holding his mouth like tight so that he just doesn't start laughing.
A lot of times when they're like insulting him too, and I think that he's just like fighting it, dude, you know?
Yeah.
He's just sitting there like staring off blankly, like he doesn't even respond to them. And I think it's because he physically could not, you know?
I really think that being on set for this movie must have been a blast.
Oh, yeah. Well, probably any of his movies, honestly.
But this one in particular, I feel like they're like on the edge of just busting out in laughter the whole time.
Because it's so ridiculous.
Yeah, it's so absurd.
Right.
Bobby Boucher's character is so extremely like slow.
Just a dimwit, dude. So Bobby decides to go to South Central Louisiana State University. That's the longest fucking acronym ever for a college.
I love it too, because all their gear has like all 5 letters on there.
Oh yeah, SCLSU. Yeah.
Yeah.
He goes to talk to the coach of their football team, Coach Klein, and offers to be the
Henry
water boy.
Winkler.
Yeah, he's great in this.
He's always the Fonz to me, man.
I agree. Well, it's weird though seeing him be, you know, more Winklerish and less Fonzish, you know, just because.
Oh yeah.
In real life, Henry Winkler is not Arthur Fonzarelli, you know.
No.
And so apparently, I've actually heard interviews where he said that the hardest acting gig that he ever had was playing somebody cool, because he said in real life he is a fucking dork, dude. You know.
Right.
And
a
it's
lovable
interesting.
dork.
Oh yeah. And watching this and like Click, and I watched that Better Late Than Never show with him and Shatner and fucking George Foreman, and Terry Bradshaw, and he's fucking like the biggest dork ever, in that.
I've never seen that.
It's great because in the first season, at least, those 4 dudes, they're getting up there in age, late 70s, 80s. In the case of George Foreman, maybe a little bit older than that, but they basically all get together and they decide they're going to take a trip to Asia. And it's just them running amok through Asia, and it's hilarious watching these guys do their thing, man. Really funny stuff. But Coach Klein says he can't pay him. He's like, I'll be your water boy for free. He shows him this nasty little vat full of water in the corner.
Like bugs and hair and shit on it.
Yeah. I thought it looked like a mosquito breeding ground,
Yeah.
There'd be a mosquito orgy taking place on that fucker,
And Bobby's face is like just locked into this pail.
Yeah.
I'll do it for free. Just promise you'll never serve that to anyone ever.
Yes. Here we meet Farmer Fran. He's unintelligible at best.
On the football staff, though, apparently.
Yeah, I guess so. All the guys have to share athletic supporter.
Yeah. This new team is shit.
Oh, yeah, they're the worst. Literally the worst.
Heavily modeled on the Cleveland Browns, I will say, though.
Especially this season. The Browns got their Bobby Boucher, so...
Well,
starting to win.
It is, though. I mean, the color scheme's brown and orange, which is the Browns. Their mascot is a dog, which is the Brown. The Browns' mascot's a dog, too.
Right.
So, like, I'm telling you, this wasn't by accident.
By design.
And the Cleveland Browns have been terrible for a long time.
Yeah. Well, they say that these guys they're on a 41-game losing streak, which isn't far from what the Browns were up to their first win in a while this year.
Yeah. That was their first win. When they won...
It had been 2 years, hadn't it?
Yeah, 2 years.
And I'm sitting there watching it because on the the highlights or whatever, I think it was ESPN, but they're talking about how they hadn't won a game since 1994. And so in my mind, I'm sitting back and I'm thinking, golly, dude, that was 24 years ago. I was like, oh, this was 98, though.
Yeah.
It's been a quarter of a century since I won a football game. Get the fuck out of here. But apparently this Coach Klein fella, he's not all right upstairs. I guess he has schizophrenia pretty badly. This guy kind of befriends Bobby Boucher. His name's Wallace. And I guess he tells him that he had some kind of breakdown when he was an assistant coach. More to come on that later.
Right.
Yeah. And so these players start picking on Bobby. And that's whenever... Immediately. And these guys are dumb, too. There's the one dude who's got the lazy eye and he talks like this all the time,
He's in a bunch of Adam Sandler shit.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, constantly. And so that's whenever we see where Coach Klein's like, dude, you better stand up for yourself or they're going to chew you up, spit you out. And we see where Bobby Boucher winds up knocking this one dude on his ass, And I just said,
it's the quarterback.
Yeah.
It's their quarterback. And he, kills him almost.
Oh, yeah. Lays his fucking ass out.
And immediately after sacking him, he was like, I'm so sorry. Coach Klein said it was okay to stand up for myself. I'm so sorry.
And Coach Klein's like, dude, this is exactly what we need.
Yeah. His eyes light up. Mm-hmm. Oh, my God. Oh, I love it.
Coach Klein offers him a gig on the team as a defensive lineman. And
Linebacker.
Yeah. And Coach Klein goes to talk to Mama about Bobby being on the team. And she's adamantly against it.
Served a giant anaconda.
And he's like, what part of the snake would you say this is, And she's like, well, snakes don't really have parts.
Snakes don't have parts.
Right. If I was to speculate, I'd say it was the knee. And I'm like, whatever, man. So that's whenever we get to hear a little bit of Bobby's backstory. I guess Dad left. He joined the Peace Corps and got lost in the Sahara.
Well, he died of dehydration.
Right. And that's why Bobby's obsessed with water,
Yeah.
Yeah. And, of course, Mom, she's faking, these migraines and shit anytime she hears some shit she doesn't want to.
Head pain. That's the head pains.
Right. Bobby is pumped though because he gets to go to college if he plays football.
He gets educated.
Mom doesn't like that either. She didn't. Nope. He didn't need no schooling.
Foosball's for the devil.
Mm-hmm. Everything's for the devil. Vicky Valancourt, she's the devil.
Yeah, this is where the first time I had heard the word foosball.
Oh, okay.
In reference to football.
Right. You've heard of foosball, but not like this. Yeah.
Yeah, as reference to football. And still to this day, like, I say foosball when I'm talking about football a lot.
That foosball. Yeah. Coach Klein goes and talks Bobby into being on the team anyway.
Well, because he showed him his Roy Orbison ass tattoo.
He's like shaking it around and shit.
It was so weird.
Oh, God. There's always some random shit going on in these Adam Sandler movies like that. Just random, like, I wouldn't have thought of that joke, I guess, Yeah,
they don't contribute anything to the plot.
No. And so that's one of those weird instances where I was like, I don't know if that's funny or why I'm laughing, It's just one of
Did
those
it make you
things.
laugh?
Oh, yeah, I laughed.
Okay, so this is where I'll start talking about it. Watching this movie today, man, it had me laughing several times without expecting to.
Yeah, it's pretty funny. And especially, there's some shit up here it's kind of subtle, and I'm watching it going, wait, did I just see that? Like, that's pretty funny, One thing that I will say about this is if they didn't use a body double, Henry Winkler's got, in his old age, a pretty rocking butt. I wish my butt looked like that when I was that old, So
this is the second episode you figured out how to talk about someone's ass.
Well, we get to see full-on bare ass crack. When did I? Oh, I talked about it in the Vampires. Yeah, about the girl tied up.
Yeah. Yo, rapey.
Both instances, kind of weird that I was admiring ass both times.
Yeah. Kind of real weird.
Yeah, pretty damn different. So yeah, Bobby decides to play against his mom's wishes.
When he comes out he's wearing like these saggy ass breeches.
Right.
And he's wearing his football pads and he's all ready to go, except he doesn't have a helmet.
Right.
So the kicker's like, you can use mine. And the kicker, the old school kicker helmets only had one bar across the face.
Going across the thing. Yeah, I noticed that. I was wondering how old these fucking uniforms were. Like, there's no budget for this sports program in this college at all. Yeah. And that's the thing that's funny about it is without any kind of budget, they can never hope to be any better. They don't get any money because they suck, and they're just going to continue to suck until the end of time, pretty much,
There's a lot of programs like that.
Yeah, I can see that. Well,
like
we
your
live
best
in
high school football programs, those are all have really... They're really rich booster clubs.
Well, where I went to high school, which I live in that district now, dude, their stadium looks like a college stadium, And
but
they're one of the best teams.
They are, but their football program does not even come close to what your rival's football program does.
Oh, yeah. The Jinx football, yeah. They're crazy.
I mean, they've been on national television more than once.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's nuts,
I don't know if you remember that MTV program called Two-A-Days. It was about this high school football team in Hoover, Alabama. They're really good. And they were like undefeated for 4 years or something like that. And in one of the episodes, they went to Jinx, Oklahoma to play Jinx, and Jinx smoked them.
Really?
Yeah.
They actually, I think, made a movie about that, the football team that went for like 4 years. And it's all about that first game that they lost and like the players kind of coping with that shit, It was
that might have been the Jinx loss.
Oh, it might have been. I don't know. I don't think they said who they lost against, but maybe had kind of a religious slant to it. So if that's not your thing, then you not get into it.
Anyways, we got sidetracked there.
Yeah, it happens. So Bobby doesn't know anything about football. He's like, well, didn't you ever watch any football? You were a water boy for a long time. He's like, well, I've been working on my water here,
A lot of things to do, like check the pH balance.
pH and the temperature and and so anyway, he's like, all right, well, what you did yesterday, go up to this guy and do it. And he's like, okay. And so he goes up and tries to tackle this dude, and he just fails badly.
Like, just hugs him.
Yeah. Everybody's laughing and jeering at him and shit. And so then he's like, well, okay. He's like, do you know of what's your favorite sport to watch? And he's like, oh, wrestling. And he's like, well, who's your favorite wrestler? Captain Insano. And he's like, well, do what Captain Insano would do to this guy. And he goes and pokes him in the eyes.
Yeah.
It's fucking great. He's like, dude, poke my eyes. He's like, Captain Insano takes no mercy. It's fucking great. But he gets the idea, Coach Klein does, to have Bobby envision somebody that's like walked on him, in his life. And basically imagine that the person that he's trying to take down is that individual. And then it works. He's a
So
sacking
did he picture
machine.
for the first one?
Was it Coach Klein?
No.
No.
I think
I
it was
don't-
Coach Red.
Oh, yeah, that's what it was. I think it was. Because I think it's whenever he was firing him that he imagined it. But at one point, he envisions Mama. At one point, he envisions, like, the dude that... he actually does envision Coach Klein at one point trying to, like, antagonize him to get him to play better,
Gatorade is better. Water sucks. It really sucks.
At one point, one of the guys calls him Needle Dick, and he envisions
Oh,
that
yeah.
shit. Yeah. It's pretty great. Way to go, Needle Dick. He starts going to class. There's this dude, Colonel Sanders. This is what he calls him, because he looks just like fucking
It's
Kentucky
so
Fried
good.
Chicken. Yeah.
It's so good.
And they're going through this whole biology thing, and Bobby keeps spitting out the wrong answers. The teacher's making fun of him. He winds up sacking his ass. It's pretty great.
Well, Bobby kept saying what Mama said.
Right.
Mama said alligators are ornery because they got all them teeth and no toothbrush.
Right.
And then we find out about the medulla oblongata.
Right.
Mama says happiness is little rays of sunshine.
They come down when you feel them blue. Yeah. It's pretty funny. And of course, we get looks like Mama's wrong again. He fucking sacks that ass. So, I thought it was weird, though, that basically he drops that professor on his fucking ass. And then it shows him back in practice. And I was like, it's weird that he didn't get any kind of reprimand from the school or anything. They never talk about it.
He's going to be their star football player, man.
I guess
They
so.
need him.
Yeah. It shows the cheerleaders at the football game. They're all wasted.
Just
Fucking
drinking.
Trashed. Yeah. And the mascot's even like drinking through his little helmet. It's pretty funny.
First game.
Yeah.
And that's when the quarterback calls him Needle Dick.
Yeah. I do like, at one point, we get Bobby, and he's like, I wonder what Mama's doing right now. Shows her in the yard, and she's got this badminton net set up, and she's playing badminton, and it shows the donkey's got, like, the fucking,
Other badminton thing.
yeah, in his mouth. She's trying to teach this damn donkey how to play badminton. It's like a racket, the donkey's got.
What's funny about this donkey to me is his name is Steve.
Right.
And he's like part of the family that, because no one ever brings up the fact that they have a donkey in their house.
No, they just don't talk about it.
They just talk to Steve.
It's kind of like a dog or something being in the house.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is like the family pet. So, Bobby's just sacking the fuck out of everybody that he can in this game, though.
It's so good. It's so
Yeah.
good. I think this is why I like the movie so much, is these football montages are great.
They're pretty great. This one scene, me and my wife were laughing in the floor. He's like, hey, good luck on the next play, guys, against the other team. And the guy's like, oh, okay, well, I'll be playing with your mama tonight. And you see Bobby Boucher looks at the guy, he says, 62, because that's the number on his jersey.
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck? It was so fucking funny, dude. Because Bobby gets the ball at one point, and he throws it to 62 so that
he can tackle him.
Yeah, he has an excuse to knock him on his ass, It's really funny.
He throws the ball to number 62. 62 runs all the way down the field. Bobby can't catch him.
Yeah.
But as soon as the dude turns around in the end zone with the touchdown, Bobby comes out of nowhere with a 2-footed fucking drop kick.
Fucking mows his ass over, dude.
I laughed out loud for real when that part happened too.
And of course they lose the game because of that little move. Bobby doesn't understand what the fuck, He's not tracking any of this shit. He just knows he wanted to kick that dude's ass.
You see Coach Klein like sitting in the end zone crying.
Right. And we finally get to meet the illustrious Vicky Valancourt. And basically...
And her nipples.
Yeah. She does have some rockin' nipples in this movie. I ain't gonna lie.
Okay, I think it's on purpose.
Right.
Just so people don't think I'm objectifying this actress. I'm pretty sure they made her character like that on purpose.
Oh, yeah. She never wears a full shirt in this movie. Not once. So.
And she's never not nipping.
Right. I agree. So she's got a thing for Bobby. They never said like where they met or anything, But
they've known each other since they were kids.
Oh, did they? I didn't even pick up on that.
So. When Bobby first talks about how Mama says, you know what I said about girls, and he's talking about his friend Vicky, who told him he's a Virgo.
Oh, a Voigo. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there's that. She like soups up his lawnmower, so I guess it just goes crazy fast now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which we see pretty soon after that.
Right. He invites her over for the Sunday barbecue, and Vicky apparently is into astrology quite a bit. Mama doesn't approve of that.
It's the devil's magic.
She serves this big old plate of what looks like baby alligators that she's barbecued up.
Yeah.
At one point we see Vicky like bite the head off of one. What the fuck? He's just sitting there going, what the fuck am I watching, man? And then Bobby got a black eye in the game, and he told his mom that an escaped gorilla punched him in the eye. So stupid. And
that becomes a recurring theme for him.
Right. We get to the part where Mama's trying to discourage Vicky from seeing Bobby, and so she's telling did he tell you that, what is it that she says to him? Did she tell you that he sleeps in like pajamas with cartoon characters on him? And he's like, Mama, don't say that, She's like, did he tell you, tell you about his sheets or his accident at night or whatever? And like you look over, you look over, and on the clothesline is a sheet, and it is yellow as fuck, dude.
What I want to know is, why did Mama hang up a wet piece sheet? Why wouldn't you wash it first, Mama?
That's what I was. Unless it's just so much piss that it's like stained permanently. You would think piss would come out of that shit, I don't know, man. Bobby basically, his mama tells him to stay away from Vicky Valancourt altogether. Bless you.
Woo. Excuse me. Thank you.
Here we see where SCLSU has a 41-game losing streak. I guess they're talking about it on the news, and then it says
they're on Sports Center.
Yeah.
And
why would they
Bobby,
put this loser team on Sports Center? I don't know, but
they're
talking about Bobby.
Yeah, they said normally when we talk about this school on here, we're just adding another loss to their crazy record of losses. But this time, their breakout Waterboy, Bobby Boucher, he set the NCAA record for sacks, recording 16 sacks, which is more than double of the previous record of 7.
They say he's the 31-year-old freshman.
Yeah.
Yeah. Not throwing shade on all you late goers to college, but you never hear about that on the news at all. Like the sports stuff. A 31-year-old freshman.
There was a guy by the name of... he played quarterback for FSU. He was like 27 years old.
Yeah.
I can't remember. He was a prior service guy. He was in the military, and then he went to college.
Oh, get that old GI Bill.
Yeah, and he played quarterback for FSU. Went to the national championship against OU, actually, and that was the last championship OU had.
Oh, I see.
It was the 2000 championship. 2000.
Been a while for us.
Yep.
Yep. We see where Coach Red's watching the sports thing in a bar, and he's like noticeably nervous about this whole situation. Next game, Coach Klein tells Bobby he's sick of losing. At one point, we see Bobby, he actually tackles a quarterback into a safety, and they wind up winning the game.
Yeah. What's funny is right before that, the coach is over there talking to the team and like, come on, we're all on one team together. We have to do this for each other. Bobby can't do it by himself. Now get out there and win this game. The team goes out there and it's just Bobby and Coach Klein. And Coach Klein's like, Bobby, you got to do this by yourself.
Yeah. That's it, man. That's good stuff.
Is this where he scares the quarterback, right?
Yeah, and the guy runs over into the other end zone, yeah.
Before he hikes the ball, the guy's like, please don't hurt me. Please don't hurt me. He's the third string quarterback.
Right. This whole time, Bobby will be like on the line, and he'll say something like, she's not the devil. And the guys are like, what the fuck? You know, they have no idea what's going on in his head. And so this quarterback's like terrified of this guy, you know, like he is obviously not right in the head, you know. I noticed in one of the montages that SCLSU beat Clemson, and I just kind of laughed about that shit. I thought it was funny.
They named a couple of like big schools in there.
Yeah.
After the win, though, we get an after party.
Yeah. Kind of nice. We see
Everybody's there.
Colonel Sanders again.
Yeah, he's fucked up. Still from the beating that Bobby put on him.
Yeah.
And then Farmer, what's that guy's name? Farmer Tam?
Farmer Fran.
Farmer Fran's there.
Yeah.
Bobby was nice and brought some Louisiana frog cakes with him.
Farmer Fran's loving that shit, dude.
Mm-hmm.
I like at one point he's like eating it and then he like puts it down on somebody else's plate. Like gross, dude.
Well, he hands it to one of the groupies that are talking to Bobby.
Oh yeah.
So there's a couple hotties like trying to take Bobby back to the room with them or whatever. And they're like, "Are you seeing any girls right now?" And he's like, "I see lots of girls." And they're like, "Ooh." He's like, "I see lots of boys too."
He's like, "Who are you seeing right now?" He's like, "Well, the other night I saw my mama and Coach Klein." And the one girl's like, gross. The other girl's like,
one girl bails.
Yeah.
Yeah, one girl bails. The other one's intrigued.
Yeah. What the fuck? Oh, Lordy. Oh, that's some funny shit. Bobby gets invited to this speaking gig at like this youth football league.
Lawrence Taylor's football league.
Yeah. And it's pretty funny in general. Like, because they're like, so what happens when you're up there, you know? And he just basically explains that he like hits the guy with the ball is basically it, you know?
Right.
And after where we see Vicky Valancourt, and she winds up stealing a car, and they go back to Mama's house.
Yeah, she steals LT's Porsche.
Yeah. And so, anyway, he gives Vicky this vial of Alaskan water. And I guess it always stays cold, apparently. So there's that. And then they start kissing, and she whips out her boobies. And Bobby's impressed by that.
Yes.
Yeah. So, anyway, he decides, though, that he's like, yo, we're going to wake up Mama, you know. And so she's like, I don't even know why I try, you know.
He's like all the nips in the tongue, and he was too overwhelmed.
Right. He's like, and I appreciate what you're showing me here, you know.
I don't think Vicky Valancourt had ever been turned down or rejected in her life.
Absolutely not. No. There's a game against Iowa, and I guess whoever wins is going to the Bourbon Bowl.
The first annual Bourbon Bowl.
Yeah. And Bobby winds up winning the game. So there's that.
We had a ESPN breakdown. Those dudes I'm dying laughing.
Yeah.
Everything they say is just making me laugh. And then the Gatorade and water sucks we get in order to win the game.
Yeah, that's what it was, yeah. One of the ESPN breakdowns that I like is that apparently other teams have started playing like the helpers on the team.
The towel boy.
Yeah. Michigan, I guess, put their towel boy in, just this little dude, and it shows him getting his fucking ass laid out, dude.
He gets straight murked.
Yeah. So this is the party that night. They're celebrating how they get to go to the Bourbon Bowl, and we get to see Rob Schneider. And so far, I'm watching this movie, having a good time and everything, and then we get the infamous "You can do it" from Rob Schneider.
This is it like 5 times.
Is that a joke?
It became a joke.
Everybody was saying that line when this movie came out, and I was like, I don't think it's that funny. It's just some It's just a one-line thing. It's not a joke, you know.
You can do it.
Part of the problem too is I don't find Rob Schneider funny at all, and so I think that I have a little bit of a biased opinion there. But.
Well, the "You Can Do It" was just as big a hit as, oh damn it, I had it and then I lost it.
Like a catchphrase or
what was the catchphrase that everybody was like doing on the phone and like even the scary
What's
movie
up?
like spoofed. Yeah, "What's Up." "You Can Do It" was just as big as "What's Up."
Yeah, I could see that. What's Up's funnier, I think, but fair enough. Suddenly the U of L bus arrives, and the players start like talking shit. And there's this dude named Meanie that I guess Meanie, go figure.
Yeah, they get really creative with their names.
Yeah, there's one called Not Nicey, I guess. But no, Vicky winds up like threatening this dude with a knife.
She holds it up to his throat.
Yeah. And then Coach Baloo intervenes and he sends Meanie back to the bus, and then he has the cops come and arrest Vicky. Then he reveals that the transcript from Bobby's South Lafayette High School is fake, not real, and apparently the NCAA doesn't want Bobby to play anymore.
He's not eligible.
Right. I guess Bobby was homeschooled, and Coach Klein wound up making this fake transcript of his.
Yep.
Yeah. And so at that point, SCLSU says that they're going to play without Bobby. They'll be doing just fine.
But they like talk down. They're like, he's just a cheater. And
right. Oh, we suck again. That was kind of a funny line. But yeah, basically they're not pleased with Bobby at all. They think he's a fucking faker. But the NCAA does work out a deal, though, where if Bobby is able to pass like this high school equivalency test, then he can go ahead and play. We have a little bit of a flashback. We see that this Baloo guy, he took Klein's playbook back in the day. And ever since then, basically, Coach Klein's been a fucking garbage coach.
yeah, I really love how they got like afros, and it's just the whole scene is absurd because he just tells Klein like, "I'm gonna take this notebook." And he just takes it from him.
Yeah, he does. One thing that I like is they give him afros and put him in these fucking leisure suits and all that shit. They look exactly the same. He still looks like old man Jerry Reed and fucking old man Henry Winkler, you know?
Yeah,
Just give him afros. It's the 70s.
that's how you know it's the 70s. Everybody knows that.
Exactly.
Coach Klein says he didn't handle it very well, and you see him talking to his grandma on a cut phone line.
And he's wearing high heels. I hate him, yeah. I hate him, I hate him. Yeah. Yeah. So we get to where Bobby at one point, he's actually studying for this stupid, that high school equivalency test. And he accidentally tells Mom everything that he's been doing. He's going to continue school.
Well, he accidentally says football.
Right.
Then he voluntarily tells her everything else.
Right. Exactly. And he tells her he's going to continue school, football, and Vicky. And that is that, you know.
Yes.
So there's that.
I like Vicky Valancourt and she likes me. She showed me her boobs and I like them too.
Exactly. Bobby passes with a 97%, which is good.
Killed it.
Yeah. We do see where there's a little flashback and it talks about Benjamin Franklin. And
Mama said she invented lightning.
Yeah. She invented electricity.
Oh, yeah, electricity.
Yeah.
Benjamin Franklin's the devil.
Right. So outside this testing facility, this cop pulls up and tells Bobby that Mama's in the hospital. And basically, he says that she's in a coma because of a broken heart. And Vicky's like, that doesn't make any sense, you know. But he's apparently going to stay with Mama. She's the only one that cared about him. The whole town like turned their back on him, you know. And
he took everything from their house to the hospital room to make it look like home.
Including the donkey.
Yeah, even Steve is there.
Yeah, Steve's there chilling. And it shows they're watching like Dick Clark's like rocking New Year's Eve or whatever. He's like, oh, look who's on TV. It's the devil.
The devil.
I don't know why. Dick Clark's like the nicest dude ever, it seems, you know? But whatever. So, it's New Year's, though, and everybody in town's like congregated outside the hospital. Vicky.
Well,
like,
Vicky went and got
together.
them all.
Yeah. And that's where we get the whole speech from Clint Howard, you know, and all that, talking about how he's an inspiration for people that are ugly and not cool and stupid, you know, all that shit.
And then he sexually assaults Vicky Valancourt.
Yeah. She, like, gives her, she's, like, consoling him, and he, like, grabs her tit. Yeah. Yeah. And so then he tells him that, you know, he appreciates him, but he still can't play. You know, he's got to take care of Mama. And the next morning, Mama's awake, though. And he sees pictures of his dad.
This is hilarious.
Dad's goofy, man.
Dad's even more fucked up than
Oh, yeah.
Bobby is.
Oh, absolutely. It's funny because she like shows a picture of this dude. He looks like freaking James Franco or some shit, you know? And
I was thinking James Dean.
yeah, there you go. And he's like, "That's my dad?" She's like, "No, that was a guy that I just hooked up with, you know?" And apparently she saved a letter from Bobby's dad, Roboito. Mm-hmm. And anyway, the letter starts out, I was cracking up because it says, "Dear Helen." And Bobby's like, "Who's Helen?" She's like, "Bobby, that's me." This dude's
That's
30.
my first name, Bobby.
This dude's 31 years old and he didn't know his mom's name. Dude is slow, brother. So it goes into this whole deal about how apparently he went to New Orleans and he was selling something, wasn't it? I don't remember what he was.
So he wrote 3 letters.
Yeah.
The first letter was that he made it to New Orleans.
Right.
It's super big there. He sure won't be hard to find work. Mm-hmm. So the next letter he sends will be full of money.
Right.
Second letter, I got a job as a lemonade vendor.
Oh,
no
Lord.
money yet. Talk to you soon. Love, Robert. All of them say, the first 2 say love, Robert.
Right.
The third letter is
To whom it may concern.
Yeah. I'm not coming home.
Right.
The 6 weeks that we've been separated, we've grown apart. And I've fallen in love with the voodoo witch or something, priestess.
Yeah. Name Phyllis.
Name Roberto.
Right. Oh, man.
He had quite the transformation in 6 weeks.
6 weeks. Changed everything, man. So, anyway, she tells Bobby that he should go ahead and play football, and she sees how much it means to him, you know. Meanwhile, the football game's going. We get the kickoff with the University of Louisiana. They wind up scoring. And so basically, it's right after kickoff, you know.
And that's when Mama says it jumps in the fan boat.
Oh, yeah. They take that little hovercraft or whatever to the thing, yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's the end of the first half. We're in the locker room.
SCLSU is losing badly.
27-0.
Yeah.
And they're telling Bobby stories.
Mm-hmm.
Remember that time Bobby
tackled the ref?
Yeah.
All that shit, yeah. And so then Bobby's
remember the time Bobby tackled a guy and threw him into the stands?
I kind of wish that we got to see some of that shit that they were describing. That shit would have been fucking funny, dude. But
I like how they're talking about him like he's dead. And like how it was so long. Remember those fond memories we had? They were just a couple of games ago, guys. We're still in the same season.
Yeah, it's not a big deal. But whatever. So then Bobby shows up, and they're playing Tom Sawyer by Rush, which is great. So then we see where Mama's like giving the cheerleaders coffee to like help them sober up.
Yeah.
It's really funny.
She's not having drunk cheerleaders on the sideline.
What I thought was funny too was we actually see where what is it? There was one bit where they're like, "We gotta get back because Farmer Fran." Oh, this is whenever they like first show up at the hospital, like Coach Klein and Vicky do, and they're like, "We gotta get back because Farmer Fran is with the cheerleaders and who knows what's happening, you know." And it's just like they're partying it up in the hotel room. Like Farmer Fran's like on all fours and one of the cheerleaders like riding on top of him, you know. Shit. It's pretty funny. Yep. Coach Red winds up getting a pretty good idea here. He doesn't want the defense to play. He's ahead, and so he's like, fuck it, let's have their offense play. And so basically they just take a knee every play. And they're like, we'll give them the football,
Well, to start the half, University of Louisiana had the ball. Bobby sacked the quarterback. His team recovered the fumble, and so they scored a touchdown. So immediately he realizes, like, oh, shit, because their offense can't do anything.
Right. It's all defense, yeah.
Yeah, so he's like, then I just won't give the defense a shot.
Right, exactly. So it's all going to be, their offense, which ain't going to happen. We see where Bobby encourages Coach Klein to see Coach Red as someone not intimidating, which is pretty funny. Yeah.
So he visualizes a baby.
Right. A poo-poo, yeah. So the Mud Dogs offense starts kicking ass, though. Start getting some plays in. We see where the coach sends in Meanie, and Bobby literally picks him up and like flips him upside down and slams him on his fucking head. It's pretty funny.
He says, "Power bomb, courtesy of Captain Insano."
Right.
And the wrestler who plays Captain Insano in this movie, his name is Big Sexy Kevin Nash, and his move was the power bomb.
I got you. Yeah. More to follow with that because I was watching some shit earlier. So, but we'll go into it later.
Okay.
We see where
Vicky serving water.
Yeah.
She's taking over the water boy duties.
Mm-hmm.
And Mom is like on camera, like dancing Charleston in the background.
Yeah. Mama starts to come around, though. She sees all the people that are so happy he's there and stuff, and she starts feeling pretty good about the whole thing. We see where, what is it? Farmer Fran apparently has his nipple pierced.
That's not till later.
Yeah, kind of different.
Derek has to kick a field goal, and he visualizes it as a Klansman's head.
Yeah. KKK boy. Kicks his ass right through the goal, It's great.
Yeah.
The goal post.
Then they give a cheap shot. Bobby gets a fumble. It's like, Mom, I got the ball. Oh, it was on an onside kick.
Yeah, that's what it was.
And he got the ball, and he's like showing his mom the ball, and Meanie cheap shots him.
Right. Knocks the wind out of him, and that's whenever Vicky brings that vial of Alaskan water out there. It's good to go,
Magic water.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
It's still cold.
I wrote down the Mud Dogs are 17, the Cougars are 27. The Mud Dogs fake a kick and get a touchdown, which I'm sure is what happens at some point. But so we get down to like the last 7 seconds of the game. It's the last play. Basically, Bobby throws the ball, wins the game. It's over.
Flea flicker.
Yeah. And we're good to go. We get to see where Colonel Sanders, he's like super excited. He's going to rush the fucking field, and then he winds up getting stampeded.
Yeah, he gets fucked up this whole movie.
This whole movie, man. He kind of reminds me of the Mista Mista lady from Happy Gilmore. She just gets fucked up.
And in the scene where Bobby and Coach Klein were in the office talking about the past, Coach Klein like grabs like a golden apple off his desk and like chucks it through a window, and it hits Colonel Sanders in the head.
It's pretty great. He's just walking outside, like not bothering anybody.
Yeah.
We cut ahead. Oh, the whole thing where, Bobby, you just won the Bourbon Bowl. How do you feel? I love Mama and all that shit. And of course, Mom's loving it.
The scoreboard says he loves his mama.
Yeah. We cut to Bobby and Vicky getting married. And we get some more "you can do it" fucking humor, if that's what we're calling it now.
You can do it. Oh, nice, long.
Anyway, they have his stupid lawnmower like all decorated with like cans and shit hanging off the back.
Water bottles.
Funny. Oh, that's what it was. Yeah, water bottles. And as they're leaving, Bobby's dad shows up, and he's wanting to get some of that fucking money. And so, sure enough, I wrote down that he looks like Randy Quaid.
Really?
Yeah, like Cousin Eddie. But,
okay.
Yeah. And, of course, Mama tackles the shit out of him. And pretty much...
Let's see where Bobby gets it.
Yeah. That's pretty much where the movie ends,
That's it. That's in the movie.
Yeah. We already kind of said, but it's a pretty funny movie. I ain't gonna lie.
I enjoyed watching this movie.
Yeah, I like it.
I forgot how funny it was. I forgot because in my memory, it's just some silly, real low brow humor.
Oh, it is. I don't think you're wrong in saying that at all. But it's pretty good.
It's executed so well.
It is. I agree.
And I don't know, all the different characters are pretty good in it.
Yeah, minus Rob Schneider, because that dude, whatever. But
I think having Kathy Bates and Henry Winkler really helps a lot.
I agree. It does elevate things a little bit. So it's good. I like it. If like Adam Sandler's fucking humor, if you've like seen a handful of Adam Sandler movies and you're like, that's not funny to me, then you're probably not gonna like this though. So just putting that out there. But I personally thought it was pretty funny. So anyway, what have you been watching this week, Mike? Anything new?
Like we said, Halloween was this week.
Yeah.
And we watched the first Friday, the 13th. We watched the first Halloween. And then when we got back from trick-or-treating, we watched Ghostbusters.
Oh, there you go. Classic.
Yep.
That's the move right there.
She enjoys it. And then I think those were the only movies I watched this week. I've been watching a lot of television.
Yeah.
Started that Making a Murderer Part 2.
As did we. Pretty interesting.
Mm-hmm.
So I was surprised, that was a documentary. Man, and I don't know, because I've read some articles and people talk and stuff like that about how old dude, like, they left a bunch of shit out on the documentary. But in my opinion, the way that it's phrased out in the Constitution is that you're innocent until proven guilty. And so if there's any piece of evidence that doesn't hold up, in my opinion, it should be a mistrial, at least, So, but I find that shit interesting, so.
You got a beast lawyer.
Oh, yeah, she's a fucking rock star, dude, so.
She's scary looking, but she's a rock star.
She is pretty gnarly. It's weird, though, because they'll show, like, scenes from her previous case or whatever where she defended that guy that she managed to, like, get him off or whatever. And, like, fucking 20 years ago or whatever. She looked pretty decent back then, but, yeah, she's kind of gnarly, But, yeah, we watched that. Actually, earlier, why I mentioned the wrestling stuff was because I was watching the original Spider-Man with Tobey Maguire. Fucking Macho Man was in that shit. It's pretty great.
Did he wrestle Spider-Man?
Bonesaw, yeah.
That's right, yeah.
And so that's pretty good. I got to watch earlier this week, of course, it being Halloween, I watched Halloween 3, Season of the Witch, which everybody shits on, but I like that movie. So, but there was that. What else did I watch? Some fucking. I actually watched some South Park, and I watched a bunch of stuff on YouTube that was like celebrating some of the comedy of Norm Macdonald. And I'm just gonna say, I think that guy might be a genius.
He's got a show on HBO or on Netflix called Norm.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he does like a news desk style interview like show.
I might have to check that out because he is hilarious, brother.
Like he's like the host of a nighttime program, but it's just him and the guests. And then it sounds like they record it in front of a live audience, but I think it's just the crew. You hear like laughing and shit.
Oh, okay. Could be.
So it's pretty interesting. I only watched one episode. I can't remember who it was he was interviewing.
Yeah. Oh, well.
It was a famous female comedian, I think.
Hmm.
I think, was it Amy Schumer? No. I don't remember who it was.
Probably, I know he likes Sarah Silverman a lot. Maybe it was her. But he's of the opinion a lot of times that like women aren't funny, but he thinks that Sarah Silverman is one of the funnier female comedians out there. So go figure. He's a very outspoken individual, we'll say, but still hilarious.
I just think you're funny or you're not. I don't think it really matters about gender.
Gender doesn't matter. Well, and that's the thing. I've seen some stand-up from like Roseanne that was hilarious, dude. And I've also seen some of Ellen DeGeneres' stand-up, and it's really funny shit too,
Ellen just makes me smile.
Yeah. And
like just in general.
Well, her stuff isn't like super vulgar or anything. It's PG rated, if I was to rate it. according to
Yeah,
MPAA guidelines. But
Yeah.
still funny.
She's really funny. Mm-hmm. She might be one of my favorite humans that I've never met.
You met Ellen?
No, that I said that I've never met.
Oh, I thought you said that you ever met. I was like, wow, that's why you never talk about this. Yeah.
No.
So fair enough. This week we mentioned Waterboy was number 1 for 2 weeks. Last time you got to pick, you went with Face Off. Oh, by the way,
Classic.
it is in its own ways. By the way, so apparently we have quite the following in Spain. And so my apologies to our Spanish listeners that we're not talking about like European football. Because football might be lost on you. I don't know.
Yeah, in case some of you are wondering what Shane's talking about 25% of our listenership comes from Spain.
Why, I don't know. But, I mean, not to say stop listening, because we love you guys too, you know. So. But anyway, this week is my pick. Mm-hmm. And I thought about
piece of dog shit did you pick this week?
Well, we're going to
picks
see.
Sucked.
I've had some good picks. I picked Mission Impossible. So there's that.
Okay.
Yeah, that's one.
Okay. A broken clock is right twice a day, Shane.
That is true. I picked Silence of the Lambs. So that was a good one.
Okay.
But this week we're going to change streams up quite a bit. We're not really following up on the same goofy tune of Waterboy. Instead, we're going to watch a movie that I'm anxious to hear your opinion on. It's called Fire in the Sky. And it's actually supposedly based on an event that took place in Montana, where a fellow was abducted by an alien UFO spacecraft ship. Mm-hmm. And so I'm anxious to see your opinion on it. But
I'm familiar.
Oh, okay. Do you think you've seen it before?
I know I have.
Oh, okay. So I'm anxious to hear what you think about it after rewatching it. But we'll go that route.
It's supposed to be a true story.
Supposedly, yeah. I mean,
the guy abducted claims it to be a true story.
Yeah, the dude, Travis Walton is his name. He says it's true, and apparently they did the lie detector tests on all of the guys that were in his logging crew, and they all claim, like, apparently all but one of the guys passed, and they said that his test was inconclusive. And so apparently there's truth to it. I don't know. I mean, the only people that know are Travis and the Aliens, but that'd be a cool band name, by the way. Travis and the Aliens. I like it. But it'd be cool, like, if you started a band called Travis and the Aliens, but nobody was named Travis. They're like, what the fuck?
And nobody was an alien.
Right, exactly. But anyway, so if you've seen that movie and you're familiar with it, or maybe you know Travis, or you have more information regarding that, you can email us with that info at cheesymovie@yahoo.com. Our Facebook page is Casino Royale with Cheese, all separate words. So you can feel free to look us up on there and like us up on there. You can also check us out on Instagram and YouTube, iTunes, Casino Royale W Cheese, all one word. And our Twitter, Casino Royale WCH, with nothing going on there. And I think that might be it for me, my friend.
Me too.
All right. Well, make sure you guys listen in next week to hear the tawdry tale of abduction as we discuss Fire in the Sky. And we will see you next time.
Bye.
I'll be back.